Howdy.
Yeah.
Did you know fast food has its own lost media archive to it? A range of fast foods that might have been secret menu items or completely discontinued. Some of these items are cancelled before many consumers even get the chance to try them.
Dang it, those are good.
Some might have been cancelled because they were weird, terrible ideas, or some might have been even too unhealthy to stay on the menu. So let's check out the 10 worst fast food failures. Also, apologies in advance if some of the footage I use is lower quality than usual. Some of these ads are from decades ago when all we had were VHS players. Anyway, let's begin. For a quick bonus entry, here's number 11. The Mchot Dog. This bizarre choice was added way back in 1995 in the UK and later in Japan.
Hot dogs are hot again, and they're new at McDonald's.
Hot dog!
It was originally intended to be a summer exclusive item, but it just didn't sell too well. So they discontinued it and later tried to introduce it again in 2002. Surely if people were at a baseball game, they'd want a Mchot Dog. But as sales waned, the hot dog was phased in and out for many years, until it was finally reintroduced in 2007 in Pennsylvania this time. Apparently, local sports fans in Pennsylvania had been demanding it. But why was the Mchot Dog so hard to keep on shelves, and eventually completely discontinued? Well, the answer is rather odd. You see, the former founder and CEO of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, had mixed feelings about these Mchot Dogs. He eventually banned any McDonald's franchises from selling the Mchot Dog. Even when the Mchot Dog took off, it didn't matter. No matter how high the demand was, he just didn't want any McDonald's selling them. The reason for his hatred of the hot dog? Well, in his words, "There's no telling what's inside of a hot dog skin." Brrr. Oh, come on, Ray. Sure there is. One of my favorite videos on YouTube is seeing how the hot dog's made. You should see this thing.
And everything is blended together in a big vat.
The music sounds like it's farting. It's brilliant. It's freaking grimy, yet ingenious and awesome. Number 10. The McDonald's Mcsallard Shakers. Oh, what a shocker! This item got discontinued at McDonald's? But it was such a good idea to begin with. I mean, just look at how appealing these things are. Now, while I'm personally a big fan of healthy eating, it's hard to fully state how many things feel wrong with this menu item. For starters, a salad looks completely out of place in a cup. Who honestly gets a freezy cup and says, "Oh yeah, let's put salad in this cup"? Don't you just want to slurp that down? And what marketing guy is like, "Oh yes, that's brilliant"? Secondly, I've seen more attractive things coughed up by the stray cat. What were they thinking with this thing?
What were they thinking?
Thirdly, I'm guessing McDonald's managed to turn this once healthy thing into something that still managed to be over 500 calories. It's not like they didn't pump money into marketing this thing either. Back in the year 2000, they did a commercial for it. But I just can't get over this announcer's delivery in this commercial.
Now's the time to head to McDonald's for crisp, cool Mcsallard shakers.
I mean, she just sounds so non-impressed with the whole situation. She even says it as though it's a novelty to eat the salad shaker at all. It's surprisingly fun to eat.
Making them surprisingly fun to eat.
And I mean, when you have a freezy cup full of salad, don't you go and dance it up too? And the poor woman eating it just sounds so take it or leave it with her delivery.
Wow, that's quite a salad.
Wow, that's quite a salad. It's not the best salad, but you know, you get what you pay for. It's McDonald's. Also, despite her shaking her salad in this commercial, none of the salad actually moves, thereby negating the point of actually shaking the cup. It kind of makes the whole novelty of the commercial seem kind of pointless. On the other hand, it's worth mentioning commenters on this ad really miss the Mcsallard shakers. They actually found it quite helpful to shake up the sauce, I guess? I mean, shaking up salad sauce in a freezy cup still sounds weird to me, but hey, what do I know? Either way, the Mcsallard shaker made its way to the USA and Thailand, before the marketer realized a nightmarishly stupid decision this was and asked McDonald's to discontinue the whole thing. And for number 9, KFC's Double Down Burger. Truly the epitome of bizarre American decisions in 2010. 2 greasy pieces of fried chicken that become the bun of this monstrosity. Topped with sauce, lots of cheese, and of course a big old slab of bacon. I feel in this case, Sam the cooking guy summed it up best in his video.
What have we become, America? What have we become?
fucking awesome.
This actually started as an April Fool's Day joke by KFC. I don't think they actually thought anyone would want to buy this on a regular basis. But surprising not very many people, most American KFCs had sold out of it by 1 PM. Guys, seriously? We were just kidding around. Okay. This kind of reminds me of that SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs started selling his customers straight up grease. This one was discontinued in Canada for over 10 years, but eventually revived. And let me tell you, few things make me question my Canadian heritage as much as their decision to keep eating this thing. But potshots to America and Canada aside, this thing made its round to other countries as well. It was adopted by Asia, Europe, even my home country, Australia. Despite this thing selling at least 10 million, for some reason it was discontinued. But there was continual, skyrocketing demand for the brilliant idea of stacking 2 pieces of fried chicken on top of each other with a bit of bacon and cheese in the middle. So I guess they just said screw it to the doctors who requested to be taken off and just brought it back. Some people, like Channel Thrillist, believe that the KFC Double Down may have been what began the whole food category of deep-fried hedonism. So I can't exactly say props to you, Double Down. I wish you'd think more about the international waistline. So yeah, not my thing, but if you enjoy it as a treat, more power to you. Number 8. Pizza Hut's Triple Decaroni Pizza. This triple-decker pizza secured a permanent place in customers' hearts, and possibly on a coroner's artery scraper, because this thing had over 90 pieces of pepperoni on it, as well as an additional layer of 6 cheeses on the inside. But I gotta admit, the ad campaigns for these things were kind of fun. People in the ads would be doing everything they can to keep silent, but when they try a slice of this pizza, they just have to find a way to yell out, "Wow, what a pizza!"
Wow! What a pizza!
They later tried to rebrand it the Insider Pizza, as technically it was a pizza inside a pizza. But I guess just ordering 2 pizzas wouldn't be enough. No, that would just be silly. But this disaster on a plate didn't sell too well either. So in 2002, it was completely discontinued. By the way, thank you to Mythical Kitchen channel. I got a better understanding of this massive Pizza Hut snack thanks to their video. But why would they create a triple-decker pizza? It just feels like overkill. Well, back in the late 90s, we had this boom of novelty fast food items. You know, the kind that gives you a month worth of saturated fat in one serving. But once again, to be fair, the triple-decker pizza had a big impact on many of its customers. And to this day, 20 years later, it still has a fan page. Jeez, I guess it really did make its customers go, "Wow, what a pizza!"
Wow! What a pizza!
And for 7 lucky 7, the Hot Dog Stuffed Crust Pizza. I remember when the first original stuffed crust pizza got advertised in the 90s. Some nameless guy in the commercial said we had to eat it the wrong way, crust first. The ad gave the impression this guy was cheating on his wife.
Then it's a deal?
Yes, we eat our pizza the wrong way.
Anyway, after the success of the cheese stuffed crust, Pizza Hut started trying to stuff everything but the kitchen sink inside their crusts. Meat pies, mac and cheese, cheesy beef, you name it. But perhaps inevitably, they eventually stumbled upon the Hot Dog Stuffed Crust Pizza. And personally, I think this looks like a well and truly American item. But apparently it was first sold in Britain and South Korea. But in 2015, it finally reached the States. It just feels very authentically American to me to combine pizza and hot dogs into one item. It's basically just sausage coddled in the crust of a large pizza, and I may make fun of the excess, but admittedly, I still remember first trying cheese stuffed crust pizza in the 90s. It was freaking incredible. Sure, I wouldn't subject my guts to it nowadays, but as a kid, it was amazing. The hot dog pizza got tons of media attention and reviews, so there was certainly no lack of publicity. The Sun, in fact, claimed it to be the stuff of dreams, while Time magazine claimed it to be a calorific coma. And in this case, I'd say I agree with both assessments. But how do these pizzas actually taste? Well, I found a writer on The Guardian who described it like this. In their words, it was a hot sausage. It tasted rubbery, processed, salty, and smoky. Smoky? As in like smoked meat? Anyway, the sauce had a decent balance of sharp and sweet. The cheese was ungreasy and smooth. From here, the writer felt conflicted about this pizza. How, in its own filthy way, could it be anything other than delicious? They had another piece, took the box away, then came back a minute later to have another piece. He then promptly threw the pizza away. And honestly, 1 to 2 slices would probably be all I'd allow myself too. Personally, I'm not one for decadence of this magnitude, but if that's your thing, that's cool. And for number 6...
Welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like to get a 10-piece McNugget and a bunch of the Szechuan sauce. Like, as much as you're allowed to give me.
The McDonald's Szechuan sauce. Honestly, after the bad reputation this sauce got from a minority of Rick and Morty fans, it can be hard not to see this thing in a bad light. But just what is Szechuan sauce? Well, it's actually quite simple. It was just a dark brown McNugget sauce from the 90s that some people missed. They just added a touch of apple cider vinegar and some roasted sesame oil. That's it. Apart from that, it was just regular McNugget dipping sauce. Originally, this sauce had absolutely nothing to do with Rick and Morty. It was originally released back in 1998 as part of McDonald's promotion with Disney's movie Mulan. If you're a younger viewer, you might not know, but way back then, McDonald's had what was called Happy Meals that were aimed at children. These were a small box that had a cheeseburger, small fries, and a small drink, or nuggets. And they normally came with the most cheap, plasticky, garbage quality toys that have ever graced modern history. But as childhood obesity concerns raised in the 2000s, Disney completely cut its ties with McDonald's. So in this case, we had the Mulan Happy Meal, which came with this slightly more hot and spicy dipping sauce, and I do mean slightly. The original Chinese Szechuan sauce actually uses garlic and chili peppers, but I can't imagine McDonald's ever using chili peppers in something aimed at children. Anyway, after seeing Rick reference the sauce in 2017, a lot of Rick and Morty fans were curious to try this sauce for themselves. In fact, so much interest was stirred that McDonald's decided to bring it back for a limited time. So in July 2017, Justin Rowland, the creator of Rick and Morty as well as both of the title characters, received this 4-pound bottle of Szechuan sauce from McDonald's, as well as this strange note attached. It basically told Justin that McDonald's had managed to find a dimension where it's perpetually 1998, and there they still had Szechuan sauce every day. So they brought him back some sauce. It would have been nice if the story ended there, but unfortunately, it took a darker turn. In October 2017, McDonald's decided to bring back the Szechuan sauce for a single day, as well as a collectible poster for the event.
What could possibly go wrong?
But for some reason, they only gave about 17 packets of Szechuan sauce to select restaurants. I guess they thought they wouldn't be high demand. That marketing analyst is now fired. Scalpers ended up buying it all up and selling this stuff on eBay for hundreds of dollars. The demand was so outrageously high that sadly, one man even got stabbed in the middle of a long line to get one. Police were called out to one McDonald's where a crowd pushed themselves in, and sadly, very similar scenes broke out across the country of America, including fistfights and camping out overnight for the sauce.
I take a Rick!
The whole embarrassing debacle of a minority was a blow that the Rick and Morty fan community may never recover from. A guy cleaning out his car even found an original 1998 Szechuan sauce and sold it on eBay for $14,000. I wish I was kidding. Anyway, trying to play cleanup, McDonald's promised on Twitter that they would make 20 million cups of the sauce available as of February 2018. So hopefully anyone who really wanted to know what this sauce tasted like has done so. And if not, you can always try to make it yourself. Just add a little apple cider vinegar and sesame oil to your regular dipping sauce and you got it.
I want that Mulan McNugget sauce, Morty!
Number 5. The McPizza. The McPizza has a legendary place in McDonald's lore, and to this day I'm very surprised this one never stayed on the menu. It was basically discontinued globally many years ago.
A meat extravaganza pizza, topped with pepperoni, seasoned beef, sausage, bacon, and cheese.
But it turns out there are still 3 McDonald's left in the entire world that still sell this 1989 relic. As a result, it's not actually that hard to find taste tests of the McPizza, so we can find out what it looks like and what it tastes like. There are many other people on YouTube who've done taste tests, including this nice fellow named Dub0. He went to LA, where they have the world's largest McDonald's. Many people travel far and wide on this pilgrimage to try this ancient pizza in LA. And by ancient, I mean created the same year as me. Yes, I'm old. This fellow traveled 781 kilometers to try this pizza, and that is dedication I can respect.
I live in Orlando. Orlando has the world's largest McDonald's. They have a lot of crazy things on the menu. I got the pizza today.
But just what is this thing, and how does it actually taste? Well, apparently it's a family-sized pizza. Back in the days of old, it was brought out by an employee to the table and put on a raised rack in the middle. Huh, that actually sounds really classy. It contains cheese, pepperoni, onions, mushroom green peppers, and sausage. Though the largest McDonald's in the world in LA lets you customize what you put on your McPizza.
So as I said, I got pepperonis. You see them, they're pretty big sized pepperonis. I got crumbled sausage is what they called it, Italian sausage. Then I got green pepper.
This was such an obvious menu choice for Macca's to go with. Why would they possibly get rid of this? Well, apparently it was discontinued in the year 2000 because the McPizza was too slow to make. It took a whole 11 minutes to cook. And people just can't wait that long. And apparently this was out of sync with McDonald's reputation of fast service. But in reality, given sometimes I've gone to McDonald's to wait 20 minutes for a freaking soft serve, I don't think it'd be that out of the reputation of them. I just don't think many people who want a pizza would care if they have to wait 11 minutes for a pizza. I mean, this is the most renowned discontinued fast food I know of. Can you honestly imagine them losing sales on a McPizza? But maybe it has more to do with the other reason it was discontinued. It was ridiculously expensive. Apparently it was about $6 to $9 in 1989, which equals about $12 to $18 today. And for a mediocre pizza, that's a lot of scratch, particularly when we got Pizza Hut nearby serving up pizza for a much cheaper price. I mean, even today, my local Pizza Hut can sell a large traditional pan pizza for $7, and in US dollars that's like $4 to $5. There was just too much competition for decent pizza, so the McPizza eventually just got discontinued, except in like 3 branches in the world. Number 4. The McSpaghetti. I want a McSpaghetti. No wonder it failed, I can't even say the name right. What a mouthful of marbles. There. The McSpaghetti is really an oldie, and if you don't mind, I'm just gonna call it Spag. The McDonald's Spag was made up of pasta, marinara, meatballs, and cheese topping. It was originally introduced in the 1970s, but discontinued in the 1980s. Apparently Macca's wanted to push Italian food in an attempt to give more variety to its dinner menu. But the McSpag flopped horribly, because when people entered McDonald's, they expected burgers and fries. Italian items like pizza and pasta just didn't seem to mesh with their brand. So the McSpag was discontinued everywhere, except for 2 locations, Orlando, Florida, and the Philippines. In fact, in the Philippines, it's considered a staple menu item. So if you do ever want to try it yourself, it might make a nice little treat if you ever do a little tourist visit to Florida or the Philippines. If you'd like an idea of what this strange Macca's item tastes like, well, I got the opinion of a few different people. One reporter said it was overly sweet, which is okay, but the meat could have benefited from more salty seasoning. But apparently, the noodles texture was the perfect softness, just right.
So remember SpaghettiOs? This is like eating SpaghettiOs. Exactly like that.
While in the USA, the McSpag might just stay a novelty menu item. In the Philippines, McDonald's is just catering to the Filipino taste. Many Filipino diets focus on meat with sweet seasoning, and while I personally think there's nothing like a good dish of meat and pasta, unfortunately there's not many vegetables on those plates. Hopefully as our technology improves, good taste and nutrition might be able to improve as well. Anyway, number 3. The Burger King Cine Minis. Back in the simpler days of the 90s, warm gooey bites of sugary cinnamon icing were just what the doctor ordered, right before he was kicked out of medical school. So Burger King decided to bring us the Cine Minis. These little treats were advertised as the best part of a cinnamon roll, the middle, in every bite. But I guess they didn't do too well because Burger King soon discontinued them. And it makes sense, I guess. People don't necessarily come to Burger King for the bakery or the buns, they come there for the meat. But many people were distraught to see Burger King discontinue them. In fact, some people even started a change.org petition to bring back the Cine Minis. I guess it was just that great an injustice upon the world to lose them. But you know, it might well have worked. Because in 2018, come 20 years later, Burger King was like, you know what? Fine, you can have them back. They even released a series of bizarre, gibberish tweets before finally stating that the Cine Minis had returned. Apparently they weren't drunk, they just had icing on their fingers. In case you're wondering about the taste, I don't think it was too far off the last cinnamon roll you had. Assuming you're a bakery person anyway. Well, I'm not really myself. It's been described as a super sweet blend of cinnamon flavoring and lots of brown sugar. In case you're wondering what brown sugar tastes like, it's like regular white sugar, only it has a bit more moisture to it and a bit more of a caramelly flavor to it. Anyway.
It's a good dessert, something you could eat on the go. It's not too messy. Tastes pretty good.
But obviously the market hadn't changed that much. People still didn't want bakery items out of Burger King, because the return of Cine Minis only lasted about a year. So as of today, I don't know of any way you can find the Cine Mini, unless you bake them at home, which admittedly, some people do. To me anyway, Kate Wood's recipe of these Cine Minis looks to have far more love and care in them. So if you're curious, maybe pull your baking tray out and try the recipe yourself. And coming in at number 2, the Mclobster. Apparently, for some people, they just found it weird to go to McDonald's to buy lobster. What on earth is wrong with them? The Mclobster was originally a $6 sandwich consisting of lobster meat with a special sauce in a hot dog bun. The sandwich arrived in 1993 after the tremendous success of the Filet-O-Fish, but somehow the idea of shellfish at the Golden Arches just never took hold. That being said, once again, this fast food is not yet completely extinct. Although most countries don't sell it, it's on a small pocketful of menus in New England and Canada in the summer, since that's a time of lobster catching season. One of the biggest problems for keeping the Mclobster on the menu was simply the supply chain, and that makes sense. It's lobster. Normally it's really sought after and expensive. Supposedly, McDonald's claims that it's 100% Atlantic lobster, and at $6.75 US, that's not bad for a lobster sandwich. But the Mclobster just never grabbed people's attention. I think this is once again a case of people having a certain expectation of what they're going to get when they come to McDonald's. It may be a delicacy in Canada and New England, but in all the other places, it just didn't fit as a menu item next to burgers and fries.
This is one sandwich that's bound to please everyone. Well, almost everyone.
And before we get to number 1, here's a couple of quick fun honorable mentions. The Taco Bell Cheeserito. Is it a tortilla, or is it a cheese pizza wrapped in on itself? We've got cheese, rice, more cheese, scallions, and what I believe is a Mexican pizza sauce, nestled in a soft tortilla, with somehow more cheese. For nearly 40 years, the Cheeserito has been discontinued, but ever since its removal, it was often made by special request as a secret menu item. However, as of 2020, Mexican pizza sauce was also discontinued, so sadly, now it can't even be ordered as a secret menu item. The Burger King Cheesy Tots. I'm sorry to get gross, but to me this thing looks like someone blew chunks, put batter over it, then deep fried it. But hey, I guess anything looks better when deep fried. In reality, apparently this is melted cheesy potato bites, covered in a breadcrumb coating. But back in 2009, they were discontinued, so maybe they weren't too popular. But recently, they were reintroduced at select locations, so this one's an honorable mention. So, although they're not my thing, if cheesy bites are your thing, well, now you have an option.
Are they good?
Yeah.
Can I have one?
The Mcrip. This one's periodically sold on and off, so I don't consider it completely discontinued. But the Mcrip was actually one of the most requested items for me to talk about. In places like USA, it's sold on and off like a jumping jack. Except in Germany, where apparently it's a permanent menu item. But either way, just what is inside this famous Mcrip? The title sounds pretty epic, but apparently it's just a barbecue-flavored pork sandwich. It was originally introduced in 1981, but the Mcrip just didn't sell in the 80s, so it was banished from the menu in 1985. Ironically, despite the name Mcrip, it's actually a ribless, boneless, restructured piece of pork, but it's been shaped like a miniature pack of ribs. But honestly, that makes sense to me. Who wants to bite into a burger and get a mouthful of bones? But apparently nowadays, even if the Mcrip had an audience, there's a deeper reason why it's not available. It actually has a lot more to do with the fluctuating price of pork, as well as the unreliability of the supply chains of pork. I guess when fast food wants reliability, they go cow and chicken. So Pepper, I guess today is your lucky day. You get to annoy parents for another year. Anyway, on to number 1. And for number 1, the Wendy's T-Rex Burger. 9 patties. 9 patties. My jaw dropped when I first saw this one. This strange burger originates back many, many years ago, possibly to when the very first Wendy's was opened in Canada.
Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers.
Since then, it's been a secret menu item for generations. It's a gargantuan 9-patty cheeseburger that one Wendy's would sell in Brandon, Canada. But once this secret menu item went viral, well, the cat was out of the bag. For many years, the T-Rex had been a local secret, but eventually someone posted this thing on Reddit. And with the secret now known to the internet, the Wendy's company had to step in, according to a Wendy's spokesperson. For obvious reasons, Wendy's neither condones nor promotes the idea of anyone consuming a 9-patty hamburger in one sitting. But as you can probably guess, that did not stop people. Now many people just buy 3 triple cheeseburgers at Wendy's and make their own. And to quote 3 of the brave adventurers who attempted to recreate this beast, you realize just what happened, right? The T-Rex went extinct, and we recreated it in our lab. We are Jurassic Park! I think it's technically the T-Rex. It's gonna be much easier for science to clone me now that my DNA is morbidly obese. End quote. Interestingly, this is the only case I know where publicity destroyed a fast food menu item. Originally, due to its secrecy, the T-Rex burger had complete corporate oversight, but it was when the burger went viral that it had to disappear and never be seen again. You know, unless you make it yourself. And while I certainly wouldn't try it myself, many people on the internet have already tried this 9-patty burger themselves.
But you guys have been wanting me to do this, so this is the day I am finally doing the T-Rex burger.
And it has made for some fun YouTube material. Good fun, but I can't promote it myself. This thing has like 3,660 calories. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's like 14,000 kilojoules. To put it in perspective, I'd have to run about 56 kilometers to burn that off. Either way, the 9-patty T-Rex burger is one sight to behold. And with that, thank you for joining me on this journey through fast food history. To be honest, this video is my first biggest step out of animation, Lego, and SpongeBob. So if you'd like me to make more general videos like this, and I do really enjoy them, just let me know in the comments, or a like is always appreciated too. But either way, as always, thank you for watching, and hopefully I might see you next time.